In the year 2011, I decided to move out of my family place and be independent and to focus on my work. I rented a place with a couple friends, Mr. T and Ms. L. Nothing happened there. Then the couple friend decided to roam and get a place on their own. My good friend Mr. A decided to ask me to move into his place. I shall not say where the exact unit is. He stay in this 3-room flat with only his mum. He will move to his mum's room and decided to let me stay in his room. He already told me years ago that he think his place is a bit dirty. Nevertheless, I feel he is just being exaggerating. These are what he told me. On particular night, around 11 p.m. he heard some kids laughing and talking with an older girl outside his room in the corridor. Curiosity gets the better of Mr. A, and he decided to eavesdrop on the conversations. Initially he thought they are speaking in Mandarin, but he couldn't make out the conversation. And realized, it is a language he never heard of, not FTS language. Simply not any known language. On another night, while trying to fall asleep, suddenly a girl whisper into his left ear, "Have you fallen asleep yet?" He ran to his mum room and sleep. His mum used to nap a lot. Sometimes she will feel something playing with her lips, tickling feeling. On one night, she wakes up and saw a female apparition. She pretends nothing happens and continue to sleep. Also she experiences ghost pressing the chest effect. They have since then asked monks to come and bless the house. By the way, it is a resale. They have stayed there for almost 20 years. The first few years, nothing encountered. Nevertheless, I dismiss the story as just fantasies and the scenario of ghost pressing the chest is just sleep paralysis. So I moved into his house and rented his room. Friend Mr. T would also be staying with me till he officially married. My encounter. I always never believed in ghost. So I didn't think of it much. But then things starts to change. I only had one encounter and it is not exactly frightening. But it does makes me feel the place is occupied. I was doing my work till late in the night. Mr. T is not sleeping in Mr. A's house that night. He has went to Ms. L place to sleep. So I was doing my work till 4 am, with the lights on in my room. Then at 4:15 am suddenly, I heard very distinct knock on my room's door. Knock knock knock. 3 knocks. Because it is dead quiet in the middle of the night, I am pretty sure it was someone knocking on my door. Thinking it was and wondering why am I not sleeping at this hour, I did not think very much of it. As I was doing my stuff, I shouted to her, "Wait a second." Almost like 2 to 3 seconds later, I opened the door. To my horror, there is nobody. Nobody at the door. Suddenly I feel a shiver and I remember what my friend Mr. A told me about the house. I feel ting of eeriness. I closed the door and went back to my work. Later I told my friend Mr. T about it. Then he looked at me and told me about an encounter he experienced while I went back to my parents' place to sleep. Mr. T's encounter. On one particular night, he heard someone singing. Around 2 a.m. plus. Outside the corridor. He is very scared as he knew the place is not very clean. Then he tried to listen to the song. To his horror, he cannot seem to understand the language sang. It is an unknown language. As he was telling me the story, I asked him about the gender of the person singing it. He looked into my eyes and tell me the most frightening thing is, the sound is just outside the corridor of our room, and even then, he could not make out the gender because it seems neither male nor female voice. He told me when he heard it, he tried not to open his eyes, as he is afraid he may see something he doesn't want to. BTW, I am still staying at this place.